This video is all about capsule wardrobes, what they are, why we should all want one, and how to get one that suits your lifestyle. Hello and welcome. Or welcome back. So we're going to start at the very beginning with a potted history of the capsule wardrobe. The term capsule wardrobe first came into prominence, although it may have been coined before, by Susie Faux, who was a fashion stylist and store owner in Mayfair in London in the 1970s. I well remember the huge adverts in the Tube that talked about a capsule wardrobe and suggested that the working woman, the affluent working woman in the city, could simplify her wardrobe by having mix and match items that would mean she'd have a cohesive collection of clothes that she could go to easily, pull out an outfit to wear to the office and look put together and professional. Now, these were really high-end designers that Susie Faux stocked in her store, and they were targeted at a particular demographic. That demographic was the working woman, most likely working in a man's world in the 70s and 80s, who needed to look really smart and professional and felt that they needed to kind of beat the men at their own game, or at least feel on a par or on a level with them. Now, that's not to say that the clothes needed to be boring, mirroring the men in grey suits. And I have to say, I never set foot inside the shop because that price point was definitely not where I was in my working life. But I guess that was my fantasy life, my fantasy wardrobe. And I just loved the idea of having a mix and match wardrobe of clothes that would suit any occasion, where I wouldn't be pulling my hair out or all the clothes from my wardrobe and wailing that I had nothing to wear. I suppose this idea of the capsule wardrobe also harked back to that time when I used to play with paper dolls. Do you remember those cut-out dolls we used to get in magazines? And you could dress them up in different outfits and mix and match. So the concept of the capsule wardrobe was very attractive to me, and I would suggest it probably was to many others at the time. We were just coming into the big bang financial deregulation in the 1980s in the UK, where greed was good and the Gordon Geckos of this world ruled the city. So women who were players in that world needed to look the business. Think Melanie Griffith in Working Girl, where she adopts the wardrobe of the evil Sigourney Weaver to look smart, professional and in control. But that's not one that I ever got around to adopting. I wasn't fashionable, although I attempted to be. I was wedded to perms long after they were fashionable, and I made some pretty awful fashion faux pas over the years. So fast forward probably to the last 10 years, when capsule wardrobes seemed to be having a bit of a renaissance. It might have been something to do with the advent of the social media explosion, with Instagram and YouTube becoming so important in so many women's lives that the capsule wardrobe has found a platform, and there being a huge proliferation of fashion stylists ready to help us put together a wardrobe that suits our particular lifestyle. So what is a capsule wardrobe? Well, a capsule wardrobe is a wardrobe of clothes that suits our lifestyles, that suits the way we live, and, most importantly, isn't full of clothes that we actually don't wear. We're in an age of choice, where we've got thousands of TV channels to choose from and products that we can't possibly ever try because there are just too many. I remember the first time I went into Starbucks and I was absolutely gobsmacked at the amount of choice of different types of coffee you could have. And I think that's kind of what a capsule is designed not to do. It's designed not to bewilder us with choice, but to guide us and to help us put outfits together without feeling blinded by the amount of clothes we've got stuffed into our wardrobes. So let me attempt to guide you on how to choose a capsule wardrobe for your lifestyle so that you're not bewitched, bothered and bewildered by your wardrobe, and so that you'll have a cohesive collection of clothes that you actually want to wear. Now, here I'm talking about women of a certain age. In other words, from 50 plus onwards, I guess. And I'm nearly 70, so I'm coming at it from a particular age demographic. In my 50s, I was working full-time for a breast cancer charity, and I had a large team raising millions of pounds for research. And I was representing the charity on a regular basis at events and speaking engagements, and I needed to look smart and put together. Now I'm in a backroom role where I rarely see anyone apart from my work colleagues. And when I do go into the office, which is about once a week, I need to look smart casual. So for example, I can wear trainers, but I wouldn't pair them with jeans jeans, I pair them with tailored trousers. So as my lifestyle has changed, so have my clothes. I recently did a video about clothes that age you, which I'll link down below in the description box if you haven't seen it. And I was looking back at some of my photos from 2019, where I was wearing a tight little blazer, and when I say little, I mean small, close fitting, which was the fashion back then, and it was in pastel blue. Now that was because at the time I was working at a coroner's court, and I needed to look the part, so that meant wearing court shoes, excuse the pun, tights and dresses or skirts and jackets, or smart trousers, and it certainly didn't mean jeans and a t-shirt. So this is a rather long-winded way of saying that there's no point in having a large wardrobe of clothes that I absolutely don't need to wear anymore for the life I live now. I found that having so many clothes was overwhelming, and it meant that I struggled to put outfits together, constantly rummaging around trying to find what goes with what, and even trying to remember what I've got. So the cleansing of my vast array of clothes was super helpful. Now I have a video of me actually doing this. It was in 2021, very early in my YouTube journey. And oh my gosh, it was so cleansing in every way possible. It was post-pandemic, and I was able to get rid of so many clothes that just didn't suit me. Either I was too large for them, or they were looking a bit threadbare, or I just didn't need them anymore because my life, and particularly my working life, had changed. And they were just cluttering up my wardrobe, taking up space that could have either not been filled or filled with clothes that were more suitable to my lifestyle. For example, I had 5 or 6 black pairs of tailored trousers. Some of them were almost identical. I also had some colourful patterned clothes that I actually never wore and was very unlikely to wear again. It really was a useful and instructive experience, and it showed me that I really needed to get to grips with my wardrobe and with what I actually owned and what I actually needed. The following year, I developed a fact sheet, or rather 4 fact sheets, on how to create a capsule wardrobe that suits your lifestyle, one for spring, summer, and one for autumn, winter. Now, if you'd like a copy, the link to download them, and they're completely free, is in the description box below. Now, let's dig a little deeper into what a capsule wardrobe actually means. We've talked a bit about a capsule wardrobe suiting our lifestyle, but now let's get into the specific. What we're trying to achieve is a cohesive collection of clothes that go together, that can be mixed and matched, as well as having occasion pieces that we can try and integrate into our daily or weekly wardrobe wearing. So I'll give you an example. Let's say we tend to wear jeans more or less every day, and we have a pair of blue jeans, we have a pair of black jeans, and maybe we even have a pair of white jeans. Now, occasionally we get invited to something fancy, but it's not really a dress wearing occasion. It's a dinner out, say to a fancy restaurant or to someone's house for dinner, but it's still relatively casual. Now for that, we might wear our black jeans or white jeans, but instead of wearing a t-shirt with the jeans, which is going to look very casual, we can up the game a little bit by wearing, say, a silk shirt. That's what I mean about having a mix and match wardrobe. Having items that you can wear in a casual way or in a slightly more elevated way. Now, most of us, I'm going to suggest, are jeans and t-shirt or jumper wearing women. Those are the types of clothes that suit a casual lifestyle in whatever the weather. So even if you're in a hot climate, you might be wearing jeans in the evening, but perhaps not in the day because it's going to be too hot. And in a cold climate, you're definitely going to be wearing jeans, maybe with leggings underneath, or just legging. But ultimately, we're all going to be wearing similar clothes, i.e. jeans and t-shirts or jumpers, or cotton trousers and trainers, sneakers, shoes, or sandals or boots. That's really the uniform of the modern woman, I would suggest. But what we don't want is loads of t-shirts that maybe are looking a bit grey now, a little bit torn, or in colours that don't really suit us anymore, or in colours that don't really go together. So we might have, say, a lime green t-shirt that we really loved at the time, but it doesn't really go with anything else in our wardrobe, so it sits there and we look at it and we take it out occasionally and then we put it back because it just doesn't go with anything. Now, I'm not going to suggest that you have an incredibly boring wardrobe. Your wardrobe does not need to be, say, monochromatic, but it does need to have clothes that fit together for a capsule wardrobe to work, to be cohesive, to minimise the often daily puzzle of what to wear with what. So, one way we can do this if we know what colours suit us, particularly colours that suit our complexion, and we can talk about that in another video, then we can consider colours that go together. For example, blacks, whites, browns, beiges, that sort of thing, which are easy to wear and go together, and then we can introduce some colour. So for example, if you're a cool tone person, you can wear white and black, and you can wear certain shades of pink or purple or green. And if you're a warm tone person, you can probably add oranges and yellows to your neutrals. And then what you end up with is a wardrobe full of cohesive colours that all go together. So here I'm showing some examples of capsule wardrobe, 17 items and 8 different outfits. Now, of course, these are suggestions for a casual lifestyle. They wouldn't work for someone who's got a lot of formal events to attend, for example. But for most of us who perhaps are still working or volunteering or being grannies or simply living a simpler lifestyle, these are the types of clothes I would suggest you're going to be wearing most days. Now, in a soon-to-be released video, I'll be modelling and styling these items so you can see them on a real person. But I hope in the meantime this helps you to consider what you need in your wardrobe and how you can curate what you already have to create a capsule wardrobe that suits you. Now, a word about basics. A lot of capsule wardrobe proponents will tell you that you must have a white shirt, a blazer and a trench coat. Well, I'm here to tell you that's nonsense. Nothing wrong with any of those items at all, but I don't own a white shirt nor a trench coat. I find cotton shirts really quite unforgiving. They're not soft enough for me to want to wear them, even though they look gorgeous, but I'll never wear one because I just don't find the material comfortable enough. Neither will I wear a trench. I don't really see the point, as they're not meant to be done up, so it's a bit like wearing a waterproof cardi. Too chilly here in London not to do up your coat, I'd say. So, how to create your capsule wardrobe. Now that we've covered what a capsule wardrobe is, let's go over your checklist to see how you're going to achieve it. Step 1. Consider your lifestyle and what you need. Step 2. Cast a critical eye over your current wardrobe, declutter or donate the items you no longer want. Step 3. Assess what you are now left with by category, so tops, bottoms, etc. And step 4. Create outfits with the items you're left with and decide if there are any gaps you want to fill by purchasing new items. And to help you, like I said, you can download my free fact sheet, which will guide you through the process, and the link to download them is in the description box. Now, 2 years ago, I recorded a video on how to create a fall-autumn capsule wardrobe, which I will also link below. And watching it back, it's actually as useful now as it was then, although I say so myself. But what's interesting is my style has changed in those 2 years. For example, in that video, I showcased some black faux leather leggings and some merino and alpaca jumpers. Now, those items have gone. They've been decluttered or donated because the older I get, the more I yearn for comfort, and I just didn't find alpaca or merino that comfortable against my skin. So there you have it. That is my guide on how to create a capsule wardrobe. Let me know in the comments what you think. Have you ever tried to create a capsule wardrobe? Did you find it difficult? Or did you find it helpful? Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you'd rather have an array of fantastic clothes, some of which have great memories for you that you don't want to declutter. And of course, I'm not suggesting for a moment that you get rid of those. In fact, one of the things I'm so sad that I got rid of was a dress I bought, but this is years ago that I decluttered it. This was a dress I bought in Los Angeles, believe it or not, in the early 90s. And I got rid of it because when I divorced about 20-something years ago, I wanted to get rid of all the clothes that I'd worn during that period, which was so silly of me, and I do regret that. So please don't chuck things out now that you're a little bit unsure of. Put them away somewhere just so that they don't sort of irritate you by keep saying, wear me, wear me. Don't do that. Just put them away somewhere, and when you're really, really sure that you want to get rid of them, then fine. So I really hope this video has been helpful to you, and if it has, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to hear more from me, I have a monthly newsletter. And in that, I don't just talk about fashion, beauty and lifestyle, but also book, podcasts, music, other content creators, film, TV, and all the other things that bring us joy. And YouTube is now going to pop up a couple of videos that it thinks you might enjoy. And thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me that you take some time out of your day to watch my video. And I hope you're all doing really well. And I look forward to seeing you on my next one. Bye.